Hi, it's Louise Tanner-Stokes from the Anti-Dieting Revolution, and this week I wanted to talk about how to manage a relapse so it doesn't become a collapse, okay? So this is for you if you've been making some changes to your eating habits, maybe you've also been making some changes to your exercising habits, um, things are going well, you're kind of ticking along, you're making those changes, and then suddenly you have a slip up. Okay, so maybe those new habits are kind of slipping away, maybe the old habits have crept back in again. Maybe it was something specific like, you overdid it at the Christmas party, or maybe you had a bit of you've been away on holiday, or you've had a weekend where you've just forgotten what you've been trying to do all week, and you've overdone it, you've overeaten, maybe you've skipped the exercise class or something like that, and you feel like you've blown it. Okay, you've slipped up, and it's too easy to think you've completely failed. Okay, and to think you might as well give up, especially if you're used to dieting, where you go on a diet, you follow the plan, and then you go off plan and you think, that's it, I might as well just give up because I've not stuck to it, and you think you failed and you kind of go round and round in circles. Okay, so here are my tips to help you with this, because a relapse really doesn't have to be a complete collapse. You haven't failed, you haven't blown it. Okay, it's all about what you do long term. Okay, it's not about that little relapse, it's what you do with that relapse. Okay, so here's some tips for you. First of all, the first thing I want you to recognize is that relapse is normal. Okay, it's a normal part of making changes to our behaviors. Human beings are creatures of habit. We like to do the same things day in, day out. We don't actually like to change. Okay, so when you're changing your behaviors, when you're trying to do something different, it's really hard, and that's an understatement. Okay, so relapse is completely normal. It's something to expect. I would say, try and you almost expect it, expect it and plan for it, and think about how you can work around it. Okay, so relapse is completely normal. It's a normal part of behavior change. It's inevitable. Okay, it's not something to be frightened of, but it's something to plan for if you can. And then the next thing to have a think about is drawing a line. Okay, draw a line under whatever's gone on. Obviously, it's important to be honest with yourself, and recognize when those new habits are slipping, recognize when the old habits are, sneaking back in. Notice what's happening, but observe it without beating yourself up. There's no need to feel guilty. Like I said, relapse is just a normal part of behavior change. But it's just something to draw a line under. Okay, draw that metaphorical line under it and move forward. You can't change the past, can you? You can't change what you've already done. You can't take it back. All you can do is learn from it and move forward. Okay. And then the last thing I want you to have a think about is, how can you get back on track? So what's your first step? What's the one tweak that you could change that would make the most difference? So the thing that would help you to get back into that routine that you were in. So for me, it's always sleep. Okay, it's always sleep. That, going to bed late is always the thing that kind of you know snowballs. So if I can get an early night, get a better night's sleep, then I know that I'm more likely to eat better, I'm more likely to do the exercise and feel better, and it's like a positive cycle then. Okay, so what's your first step to getting back on track? Okay, and then have a think about, what can you learn from the situation? So what can you do differently next time to maybe help you avoid having that relapse, or help you to plan to get back on track as soon as possible? Okay, so just to recap then, 3 things I want you to have a think about. First of all, recognize that relapse is normal. It's just a normal part of changing behavior. Number 2 is to just draw a line and move forward. You don't need to feel guilty about having a bit of a slip up. Okay, and then number 3 is think about how you can get back on track. Okay, no need to feel guilty. Just think about what's that first step to getting back into your routine. And remember, you don't need to do it all perfectly. I know that's something that really holds people back as well. It's that real dieting mentality of thinking you've got to follow everything perfectly or you've failed. That all or nothing way of looking at things doesn't help you. And if you need more help with this, get in touch. I can help you to ditch dieting forever because you absolutely deserve better. So get in touch and remember that a relapse doesn't have to be a collapse. Take care and I'll see you soon.